I bought another car. You guys are probably looking at this right now and think that this is the biggest pile that I have ever bought. And I would agree with you for the most part. Look at this pristine interior. The chopped door. Oof. It's a real beaut. But let me tell you why I bought it. So as most of you know, I have this car. I love this car. But there are some major problems wrong with this car that I don't even like talking about. But I guess now that I have that car, I'll talk about it. So obviously, we have my SR20. You know, love the engine. Good engine. But this chassis is been through so much. I don't know. You guys probably won't get the full picture here, but you see this line right here. It's all straight. Now, if you look at over here, this is all bad. Oh yeah. She's been hit before. And nothing here lines up. Like that hole was made by the previous owner. That goes all the way down. That one lines up somehow. I don't have that one fully bolted, but yeah. And then this side, it's thrown off this side. I don't. Before I used to have it good, and I haven't crashed it. That's held on by a zip tie. That was by the previous owner. That one lines up. And then this side is untouched. I've never taken off this rear bumper from this car, but it kind of looks wavy, like right there. I don't know if it's ever been hit before. And then you have this. This has always been on the car, the same bumper that came on this car, and I've never taken it off. Of course, I have over fenders on this car. As you can see, over fenders. Give you a bigger wheel arch, fit a bigger wheel. But when I cut my quarter panels for the over fenders, I was a little high schooler and I didn't do it right. The right way, I suppose, is to weld them and whatnot. You won't be able to tell. But I just cut a bunch of slits, folded them back, and put a bunch of tape so water wouldn't get in. And that is definitely not the right way to do that. But I just wanted it to not rub. And I never went back to it after I bolted down the over fender, which I should have, but I didn't. With that said, the underground of this car is okay. They're still kind of bent and framed. And then it's kind of hard to get the picture. Those are always bent. But I believe under the passenger side or the driver's side, I think it has like previous dents from when the previous owner tried to jack it up, or previous owners. But nevertheless, it's a beautiful car. You know, I love it. I drive this thing so much. I've put tons of miles on this with the KA and the SR. You know, she's still a really good car. Inside, nice and comfy. I got the grandma seats. You know, Apple CarPlay, nice sound system, good engine, good noises, nice power, good turbo. All the things that make a car fun. You know, I enjoy it. But here's my plan. I've always wanted a really, really clean build. But with this, I knew structurally this chassis wasn't going to last forever just because of this and the other little small things as with it, which you can't really be picky when you're talking about 30-year-old cars. I think this car is a 91 or 92. Or it's a 92, but it was built in 91. But you can't really be too picky when you're talking about these cars, because most of them have been thrashed and beat on, which is no surprise. But this car over here, it looks in extremely, extremely, extremely rough shape. But let me show you something. This chassis is extremely straight everywhere. Like this fender is just mocked up, and it has every single hole like lining up perfectly. Like it's a really good chassis. So my plan is to get everything out of this, swap it over to here. And that seems like a lot of work. So my plan is to do everything slowly. You know, I'm in no particular rush. This chassis is completely fine for now. You know, I love driving it. I enjoy the car a lot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint this bay, pull this up from, do all the bushings, do everything that you could do while an engine is out. And I'm gonna take my time with it. I'm in no particular rush because I can still enjoy this chassis, and I still have a 240 to enjoy. So I could have a fresh, clean build. And I've always wanted to have matching color cars all the way around. And I want to paint this 240 the same color as cocaine over here. But, you know, again, that's kind of for the future. But yeah, it comes with a slew of different parts, and I have to go through all of this. It was a greenhouse for a bit, as you can see. But yeah, I have to go around and get everything out of here. Comes with a couple of nice extra pieces, like you stick this in between the seat and the center console, and then you have a cup holder, which if you know 240s, they never came with cup holders. And then look, this hatch is mint, but he's taking back this hatch, the guy I got it from. But I actually bought it off a really good friend, and he gave me a deal. He gave it to me for 400 bucks, which if you know the 240 world, this shell would have gone for a lot more. And then the bottom is also really clean. Those frame rails are straight. I guess it's kind of hard to see from this angle, but everything about this car is really clean. And no cut quarter panels. These quarter panels are straight. As to where this one has over fenders. So I get to start with a clean quarter panels, clean. But and I could run wheels without the quarter panels, without the over fenders, and it could look really clean. That's what I hope for, anyways. But this is a long-term project. You know, I'm gonna be working on the side. Hopefully, I have to have it done by like next year, if possible. I have, if you guys didn't know, that's all paid off over there, so I could put my money towards other things. I do still want to buy a house though, so might be put on the side. I don't know. I've been looking, the market's crazy high. I've tried. So for now, this is just gonna sit here. I'm probably gonna sand the bay down one of these weekends and prep it for paint. I could set up my own booth, primer it with a gun, and then paint it with a gun. I think it'd be fun to do by myself. But yes, this is gonna essentially exceed my caliper of builds. Way better than this one anyways. And then some of you guys are probably gonna wonder what I'm gonna do with this. And as sad as it sounds, I'm probably just gonna use it as a drift car. I don't know what motor I'm gonna use because I'm gonna steal this SR for that car. But I think it'd be fun to actually go drifting and take this car. And if I crash it, I shouldn't be too mad because, you know, the chassis is already damaged. As to before, I don't want to crash my car and then have no 240 essentially to drive and have a messed up 240. As to where I could have this clean 240 and have this one thrashed around, and I could throw a bunch of random body parts. And like, I already have a hood. I need to fix that hood. It has like Bondo cracks. I got this hood really cheap too from a local guy. It was like 50 bucks, but I need to rebondo everything right here. But I mean, it's no issue if I'm just going to be redoing this whole thing over here. But yeah, pretty much this whole car is going to change. This is going to be revived, hopefully. Funny enough, this is actually my old fender off of this car originally. And I think there's a couple more body parts. And if you guys know, from my first 240 that I bought, I had convertible doors. These are actually the doors from that car. They were all messed up. Those are the actual doors from it. And then this, I believe, was the fender from it. Yeah, and then this was a passenger door from it. So it has two of my old 240s parts on it. And then there's my S14 wing. 240s are like Legos. But yeah, I just put this hood on just for the shits and giggles. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see how far this thing comes along.